Hi everybody, Mrs. Parmalee here. I've got a problem that I need you to help me figure out. So yesterday I asked you to start investigating three-dimensional figures. What kinds of three-dimensional figures are there? You should have looked at prisms as well as pyramids. You were also able to identify and define different parts of the three-dimensional figures such as faces or flat surfaces, the edges where two flat surfaces meet, and the vertices where basically three of those dimensions meet, making a corner. So what I have here is a rectangular prism. Now, with Easter coming along, I know the Easter Bunny always gets my kids these huge baskets of candy. Too many sweets, jelly beans, and chocolate eggs, and all that fun stuff. Well, I always like to get little gifts for my kids too, but I try to stay away from the candy since the Easter Bunny takes care of that. And I'm going to get my daughter's favorite snack, which would be Cheez-Its. Please notice that I got the family size, so we can all share it as a family. Anywho, I'm going to get her this giant box of Cheez-Its. She's going to love it. It's one of her favorite snacks. And I'm going to wrap it. So when I wrap it, I don't like to waste wrapping paper. Now, I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. There's a difference. So I want to use the least amount of wrapping paper possible to cover this up. I'm going to cover the surface of the Cheez-It box, which just so happens, if you look at that, that is our next lesson, surface area. The definition of surface area is the surface area or the area of all of the flat faces of the solid, and you add them together. You find the sum of all of the faces in this area, and that tells you the surface area. So you find the area of this, the area of that. You take it all and you add it together. Okay? That's kind of confusing as a three-dimensional figure. I bet if I flatten the box, it might be easier to see. Oh, what? Well, you look at that. Did you know that Cheez-Its on the inside of their box, they actually have it labeled already for us? Wow. So I can see the front and the back of my Cheez-It box are yellow. And they're the same size, aren't they? And then we also have the sides of the box. And finally, the top and the bottom. You can see they're the same color, and they're also the same size. So when I go to figure out the surface area for each, I want to try to figure out, okay, it's the sum of all of the surfaces. So easy enough. All we have to do is find the area of the top and add it to the area of the bottom and add it to the area of the front and add it to the area of the back and then add it to the area of the side and add it to the area of the side, and we're done. Whew, that can't be too hard. I already measured everything out for us. So when we go to figure out the measurements, it should be easy for us to do. Okay, here we go. I measured our area to the nearest inch to make it easier, so they're whole numbers. So you can see I already have it marked out. It's on here as well, but I went ahead and put it on here. So we have our area of, let's just go ahead and do the front and the back first. So we have our area of our front. So we have 10 times 7, which is 70. Well, we already discussed the front and the back are the same, so that's also going to be 70. And then I can look at the green area. So if I look at the area of the side, you can see it's 3 by 10. Do you see that? So I have 3 times 10, write it down here, or 30. And if that's 30, then my side is 30. And then I have my top and my bottom. So my top, I have 7 times 3, which is 21. And then I have my bottom, which is 21. So now I have to go through and find the sum of all the areas. So I've got 70 plus 30. That's 100. And then I've got another 70 plus another 30. That's another 100. So right there is 200. And then I got 21 plus another 21, which is 42. So I have 242 inches squared. Pretty strange that it's inches squared, isn't it? Well, it's a three-dimensional figure. However, when we lay it flat like this is called a net. All of the polygons are flat. It takes away that three-dimensional look and makes it flat. And when you do that and you're finding surface area, you're literally finding the area of this rectangle, that rectangle, this rectangle, okay? So that's why surface area is always going to be measured in inches or centimeters, whatever, but units squared. Whew, that seemed like a lot of work. I wonder if there's an easier way we can figure this out. Remember how when we look at our shape, the front and the back, for example, were the same size? The sides were the same size, and the top and the bottom were the same size? That's where that 2 times, if I look at that formula there. So here's the formula for finding surface area of a rectangular prism. Okay, ready? This reads, which looks kind of crazy, but it's 2 times length times width. And I know that's multiplication because there's no symbols, right? It's invisible algebra. So 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. That looks so confusing. But if you just pick a number, any number, it doesn't matter for each length, width, and height, plug it in, drop the mic, it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and pick. Well, we had different dimensions. Oh, and I lost it. Where did it go? Here we go. Sorry, wrong page. We have different dimensions. So we have our length, our width, and our height. And I'm going to go ahead and pick. We had 10, 7, and 3. So I'm going to pick 10 for my length. I'm going to pick 7 for our width. And I'm going to pick, get this off of here. For our height, we'll do 3 because those were our 3 dimensions. Again, it doesn't matter. And all you do is take those numbers and plug it in the formula. So 2 times length times width. The order of operations, I have to multiply each like little cluster first. So I have 2 times, I picked 10 for my length, I picked 7 for my width, plus 2 times, I picked again 10 for my length, 3 for my height, plus 2 times for my width, I have 7. For my height, I have 3. Order of operations, multiply each area first and then add them together. I'm going to use a different color here. So 2 times 10 times 7, we have 140. Plus then we have 2 times 10 times 3, which is 60. And then 2 times 7 times 3, which is 42. Add them all together, what do you get? 242 inches squared. Isn't that a lot easier? I mean, it looks confusing, it looks overwhelming, but really, it's not difficult once you identify your length, your width, your height. Make sure you use the same one for each measurement and dimension. Bam, plug it in and solve. It's just order of operations. Let's try another one. All right, so here I have another rectangular prism. Again, you have that prism right here as a 3-dimensional. You could easily deconstruct it, flatten it down, and find the area of all of those little rectangles. Find the area of this rectangle, that rectangle, this rectangle, and add them all together. Or make it easy on yourself and use the formula. Again, it looks confusing, but take your time with it. You have 3 dimensions, length, width, height. It doesn't matter which one you see as your length, your width, and a height. Just make sure you keep it consistent throughout your problem. So I'm going to go ahead and pick, I don't know, I've got 6. I'll do 6 as my length. I'll do 2 as my width, and I'll do 3 as my height. Again, it doesn't matter. You plug it in the formula and solve. Here we go. Okay, so 2 times length times width. 2 times 6 times 2 plus 2 times our length is 6 and our height is 3 plus 2 times our width is 2 and our height is 3. Order of operations, solve them. 2 times 6 times 2 is 24. 2 times 6 times 3 is 36. And 2 times 3 is 12. Add them together, and what do you get? 72 centimeters squared. It's not so tough, is it? I want you to try some of these on your own. You'll find a big ideas activity where you are going to be asked to find the surface area of different rectangular prisms. Take your time. You need to write out this formula, pick whatever you want for your length and identify it, your width and your height. Plug it in the formula. Notice how I did that. I plugged it all in before I tried solving it. Write it out and do a step at a time. Don't forget order of operations and add it all together, and your units will be in units squared because technically that's flat surfaces. Okay? I know you can do it. If you have any difficulties with it, please reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You're more than welcome to use a calculator with this, and some of the numbers will be getting bigger, okay? Take your time, use the formula, write it out, identify your dimension. Have a great day, everybody. I miss you very much. Hope to see you soon. Bye.